record 127K mobile customers. Optus has reported record growth of its mobile customer base, with 127,000 postpaid customers added during the 3 months to December. During the same time, it lost 29,000 prepaid customers for a total addition of 98,000 mobile customers for the quarter, which Optus said was due to its focus on acquiring quality customers. Optus brought in $1.43 billion in mobile revenue, up 6.1% from the $1.35 billion recorded in the same period last year, adding that it deployed 100 new mobile sites in the reporting period. Optus 4G network now covers 96.6% of the population, with 5,550 of its 6,583 4G sites upgraded to 700 MHz spectrum. Optus also pointed towards its spectrum acquisitions in December, where it spent $6.5 million on procuring 3.5 MGz in the 3.4 GHz band in Adelaide and Sydney for $6.1 million, 7 MHz in the 2.3 GHz band in Melbourne and New South Wales East for $372,000, and 2.5 MHz in the 3.4 GHz band in Brisbane for $39,000. The acquisitions complement Optus' extensive metro holdings and enhance Optus' capability to provide 4.5G services. It also sets Optus up to offer high-capacity 5G services in the major metropolitan markets in the future, parent company Singtel said in its results announcement. Total operating revenue for the quarter was $2.33 billion, up 5.5% from $2.21 billion, with earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization, EBITDA, of $739 million, up from $650 million a year earlier. Net profit was $262 million, up 39.3% from $188 million, with CEO Alan Liu also attributing the telco's growth to its focus on media content, which saw it enter a partnership with 7 Network for data-free streaming of the 2018 Australian Open, Winter Olympic Games, and Gold Coast Commonwealth Games. This is a pleasing result that demonstrates our continued focus on compelling content such as premium sports, National Geographic, and free live streaming of music and video, and consistent network investment is really resonating with Australian consumers, Liu said. Strong post-paid mobile customer growth for the quarter has also benefited from new premium handset releases and continued network expansion. In the consumer segment, Optus made $381 million from mass-market fixed services, which benefited from $78 million in National Broadband Network (NBN) migration and site preparation revenues during the quarter, and $145 million from wholesale fixed services. Contributing to mass-market fixed was $79 million from voice, down 13.9%, $96 million from broadband, down 17.1%, and $30 million from pay TV, up 6.7%. Contributing to wholesale fixed was $145 million from data and IP, up 5.1%, $25 million from voice, down 8.5%, and $61 million from satellite, down 12.6% due to the conclusion of Optus satellite services to NBN. Australia Consumer reported robust growth in operating revenue of $141 million or 7.8% this quarter amid a highly competitive market. The increase was due to highest ever post-paid handset customer growth achieved this quarter, higher NBN migration payments, and increased equipment sales, Singtel said. Optus said its mass-market fixed segment grew mainly thanks to higher NBN revenue after adding 224,000 NBN customers during the last year. However, Optus pointed out that thanks to NBN's sale on hybrid fiber coaxial (HFC), while it repairs customer experience issues, growth in customers will slow in the last quarter of the financial year. Optus expects that its NBN customer growth will moderate and revenue from NBN migration payments will decline from prevailing levels, Singtel said. The decline will be partially mitigated by higher margin from existing customers on Optus HFC network and lower NBN onboarding costs. In the Australia enterprise segment, Optus brought in $146 million in ICT and managed services operating revenue, down 12.7% thanks to phasing of projects and some large one-off product sales in the last corresponding quarter, $79 million in data and IP, which remained stable, $73 million in voice, down 6.3% due to customers switching to lower-cost IP-based solutions, and $72 million in mobile, up 9.2%. Singtel reported a total net profit of 890 million Singapore dollars on revenue of 4.6 billion Singapore dollars for the quarter. NBN appoints Telstra Alam as Business Customer Officer. NBN's continued focus on its enterprise-grade products has seen it appoint former Telstra Business MD Paul Tyler as its new Chief Customer Officer for Business. Huawei announces £3 billion UK procurement plan. Huawei will procure a total of £3 billion in the UK over the next 5 years, it has announced after a meeting with British Prime Minister Theresa May in Beijing. Mobile device computing policy. Mobile devices offer convenience and flexibility for the modern workforce, but they also bring associated risks and support issues. This policy establishes guidelines to help ensure safe and productive mobility. China's smartphone market slips 4.9% in 2017. IDC. Huawei and Xiaomi's market share increased in China last year, according to the research firm, but they couldn't prevent a general slowdown in the market. ZTE unveils 5G network slicing solution. ZTE has announced the launch of its cloud-based end-to-end 5G network slicing solution. Verizon and Samsung demo 5G call with KT using a prototype 5G tablet from Samsung. Verizon and KT have announced completing a 5G video call between Seoul and Minneapolis. The 5G revolution is here, what business needs to know. TechRepublic's Connor Forrest explains 3 things IT pros need to know about 5G, next-gen high-speed wireless tech. 5G mobile networks, a cheat sheet. TechRepublic. As LTE networks become increasingly saturated, mobile network operators are planning for the 5G future. Here is what business professionals and mobile users need to know about 5G.